America is stronger. Our alliances are stronger. Our adversaries and competitors are weaker. We have increased America's power at every dimension. We've increased our diplomatic power, creating more allies than the United States has ever had in the history of our nation. We've increased our military power.
Geez. Well, he's going out lying. That's how he governed. Hate to say it. Joining us to talk about it, Rich Lowry, editor-in-chief of the National Review, Miranda Devine, ace columnist for the New York Post and Fox News contributor, and David Webb, also Fox News contributor, host of the David Webb Show on Sirius XM. Welcome, kids. My stomach turns when I hear these stuff. Just a pack of falsehoods, Rich Lowry. I'll start with you. How does he get off saying this stuff with a straight face, no less?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Our image and projection of strength is the worst it's been since the late 70s, since under Jimmy Carter. At least Carter, by the way, at the end, he shifted. He admitted he made a mistake about the Soviet Union, increased military spending, and started to deregulate, importantly. But we've seen nothing like that from Joe Biden, and it's going to be, 9 or 10 days from now, you'll see the change. And you're already seeing it happen because so many people are taking the president-elect more seriously than the president.
Indeed, around the world. I mean, I don't know if anybody watched this speech at all. Miranda, I'll go to you on this. I know I don't even want to talk about it. It's just insane. But here, let me hook this in. I don't know if you saw the Fox News Digital article about the military evaluations of Pete Hegseth for his nomination for the Defense Department. Spectacular. One after another. It's a huge story. Should be distributed to everybody in the Senate Armed Services Committee for the hearing. I'm sure that will be the case. In other words, Trump wants to reverse, we talked to Tuberville about this top of the show, Trump wants to reverse all these Biden policies of appeasement, and he wants Hegseth at his elbow, and he should get it. And these military evaluations of Hegseth are extraordinary. It's a breaking news, really, it's a big slam article.
Well, I mean, Pete Hegseth is just extraordinary in so many ways. He's principled. He has the right values about what he wants the military to be. He's a courageous combat veteran. He's hugely well educated and just well regarded by his peers. And so I think having him first cab off the rank for the confirmation is a good idea, good strategy, because he will be probably the most difficult to get across the line, maybe Tulsi Gabbard. But he's one of the most crucial people who's going to be in the Trump administration, who's going to set things right again. And after we've had General Milley and the rest of them, the woke military, the morale that's plummeted, the fact that you've had the recruitment is a disaster, and the people they are recruiting are not the right stuff. Pete Hegseth is the perfect man. He is the absolute avatar of the American fighting man, the American warrior. And he will get recruitment levels up. He'll get morale up. He's just the perfect guy. The
evaluation, don't mean to interrupt, but the evaluation, this is military evaluation. Absolutely outstanding officer, intelligent, mature, extremely gifted, tremendous asset to his battalion, and contributed immensely to the battalion's performance, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. David Webb, I want to put the story to bed, but basically, once again, we've learned through Biden, appeasement never works.
Look, you said it in the beginning, and when you combine lies with appeasement, which is what Joe Biden does, he launched his campaign on the Charlottesville lie. He just lied to the nation and to the world earlier today about the various, quote, accomplishments. He gives you the truth without the facts behind it, including NATO. Even Jan Stoltenberg said, no, this was Trump that did this. So you can go through the speech. When it comes to Pete Hegseth, there's a very core principle involved in the military. Do you trust your commanders? Do they have your back because you'll have theirs? Whether you're in the platoon sergeant, the company commander, whatever it is, that needs to be there. And that's what Pete Hegseth brings to the table, which is contrary to what Biden put on the table with Lloyd Austin, with all of the other chiefs that he put in place, with the woke BS that he put in the military. that didn't make it or didn't keep it within the standards that were necessary, but rather the ideology that they felt was necessary, which took away legacy. So many people, friends of mine who said, I tell my kids not to go in. Look at recruitment numbers. Only the Marine Corps met recruitment numbers. And in part, that's because General Mattis spent money to come out with a report years ago that said, hey, this doesn't work. If you're not qualified to be on that 30 cal team, if you're not qualified to be a Marine when we need you to be a Marine, you're not qualified to be on those front lines. All of this is about making it more lethal, effective, and capable of military. And by the way, those are the smartest people. 19 and 20-year-olds on board a ship who make decisions that could affect lives because they are trained to be the best.
Miranda, I want to go back to you. This was very serious, this first conversation. The second is going to be a little tongue-in-cheek. I read your article today. You don't trust Mark Zuckerberg's new conversion against woke and against censorship. I understand. I have a theory. For whatever reason, there are throughout history, Miranda, many examples of Saul on the road to Damascus. you should have seen this coming. Saul on the road.
Toadies on the road to Mar-a-Lago.
Now,
Plenty of those.
In this case, the road to Damascus was paved by Trump's strong election. I understand. And I just noticed that there may be only one Rose, but there are many Sauls. I mean, Zuckerberg is one of them. Bezos is another one. All these
the other.
bankers that have now
the
renounced.
Google guys. I mean, Trump says...
there is a... I know you are a...
It's a pilgrimage.
I know you're Thomas the Doubter.
100%.
Or Doubting Thomas. But really, it happens. There are conversions in life.
Oh, yes, but these are just give you whiplash. And you know, Trump laughs about it. He says these people, I always ask them, he says it very seriously, would you be here if I hadn't won the election? And they get all, you know, embarrassed. And he says, of course not. He's fully aware of what's going on, but he's playing with them, I guess, like a cat with a mouse.
Rich, can you believe this? In non-biblical, it happens. Conversions on the road to
Sometimes
Damascus.
conversions happen, and sometimes people just go along with the bandwagon, right? And does it really matter at the end of the day? If you have a fence sitter like Mark Zuckerberg, and you change the culture and the politics of it such that he wants to be with you, even if it's not sincere, that's a good thing. It's certainly better than the alternative.
He wasn't a fence sitter. He was way on the other side.
I mean, he did get pushed by the other side.
I'm going to let them argue this out.
He
Once upon a
embraced it.
time, we used to call it a big tent, but it's changed now. Rich Lowry, thank you. Miranda Devine and David Webb. And you can all catch David co-hosting The Bottom Line with Dagan McDowell tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern right here on fabulous Fox Business.